Good day, students. Today we're going to look at, in this particular video, solutions to greatest common factor type problems found in your practice exercises on page 78 in chapter 7 of book 3 of your Math 1025 booklets. And it asks us to remove or factor by removing the greatest common factor. Now the GCF, of course you've had some practice with that already, but GCF, I like to deal with it separately. For example, in the first one, I look at the numbers or coefficients first. So what is the GCF between these three numbers? Now you can do it the long way. You can actually write the factor list. For example, the factors for 7 are 1 and 7. The factors for 14 are 1 times 14, 2 times 7. So 1, 2, 7, and 14. And the factors for 28 are 1 times 28, 2 times 14, 4 times 7. So I'll list them all in order. There you have it. Now, the greatest common factor, of course, is the highest number that right in those lists, which is 7. So we know the GCF is 7. Now, how can we find it otherwise? Okay, how can we find that otherwise? Let me just get rid of this now. Alright, so another way to do is calculator. Let's jump over to our calculator here. Now the calculator, I'm going to do 2 at a time, but it's math. Hit the math button, go across the number, and scroll down. I think it's the 9th one, number 9. Let's see. Yep. GCD, same as GCF, greatest common denominator or factor in this case. And put in the first two, 28. Put a comma in between them. See the comma button? 14. Now I can only do 2 at a time. You have 3 numbers. Okay, so hit there. Now it'll do the 2 for, so 14 is the greatest common factor between those two. Now use that number that you just had. So math number. Scroll down to number 9 again. Oops, I went past it. And now use that number you just found and the third number in your list, which is 7. Okay, and that'll give you, so if it's 3, you got to do it twice. Now, most of you won't use the calculator for that, I'm sure, but we can see the GCF is 7. Okay, so let's jot that down. Now, what is the GCF between the variables? Well, I do each variable separately. Okay, do each variable separately. So I'm looking at a squared, a4, a. So what's the GCF between a squared, a4, and a? Now when you're doing, now that a is understood to be 1. The greatest common factor between variables is the lowest exponent, because this term only has 1 a. This has 4 a's, this has 2 a's. So the most you can remove is the lowest exponent. The most we can remove is 1a. So when you're talking variables, use the lowest exponent. So it's 7, and for the a's it's going to be 7a. Now I look at the b's. No, there's no b common, because there's no, oh wait, no, yeah, there is a b common. I see b, b5, and b. So what is the highest or lowest exponent? Go by the lowest exponent. So in this case we can remove a b, can't we? Alright, so let's get rid of that. So we factor out the b. Whoops, what happened there? There we go. So we're going to factor out the b. Now look at the letter C. I see a C here, but C is not common. There's no C here. Okay, so we don't have to worry about C. There's nothing common for C. That is your greatest common factor. Now you're going to remove that from every term. Now when I say remove, factoring is a form of division. So basically you're dividing each term by 7ab. Now if it helps you to write it down like this, write it down. But don't throw out the 7ab. You have to write the greatest common factor in front. Now you can see if I divide 28 by 7, I get 4. A squared divided by a, I get a, and the b's cancel. Minus 14 divided by 7 is 2. A4 over a1 is a cubed. b5 over b is b to the 4. Minus 7 divided by 7 is minus 1, and you can put the 1 there. A's will cancel, B's will cancel, so it's minus 1c. Now again, that 1 is understood, so a lot of people will not write that 1. So your final answer would be this minus 2a cubed b4 minus c. So if it helps you to write the common factor underneath each one, okay, sometimes that helps. So you can do that if you so desire, right? Alright, so 7/8b outside of 4a minus 2a cubed b to 4 minus c is your final answer. Alright, let's look at the next one a little quicker now. Now you know what to do. Alright, the first thing I'm looking for is I'm checking the coefficients. No, there's nothing. Well, there's 1 in front of every one, but that doesn't help you. So you don't have to worry about any of that. Now take 1, you have to take the x's next, take the lowest exponent. So you got x squared, x to the 1, x to the 1. So I must remove 1x. Look at y. You have y squared, y cubed, y to the 1. So the greatest common factor here is xy. And again, if it helps you, write it underneath, so you can see each cancellation better. Okay? So xy, x squared, y squared. So x squared over x, I'm doing this right here. X squared over x, of course, leaves me with 1x. Y squared over y, right? X is cancel in the next one. So I get y, this is a y here. Y cubed over y is y squared. And x over x, y over y. But you must write down 1. You cannot leave out that 1. Okay, you can't just drop that. You must put it in. Right? Because otherwise I would only have 2 terms. How many terms do we have up here? 3. Then there must be 3 terms down here when you remove a common factor. Okay? So the final answer there then is xy outside of, okay, xy plus y squared minus 1. Okay, so there's a couple of examples of taking out the greatest common factor. Hopefully that helps. That's it for now.